Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to whoever may be listening to this, and welcome back to Peace Be by Bambi with your narrator, me, Bambi. I am so blessed to be back, y'all. Oh my goodness, just take a breath with me. Yes, absolutely. I just want you to get comfortable wherever you may be listening to this. If you're driving, if you're sitting, if you're walking, if you're standing, I'm so blessed that God led you here. I'm so blessed to be back. My goodness. Wow, it's been a minute. It has been a minute, and I just thank God. I give God the glory and the honor for allowing me to return. I have been contemplating the return of Peace Be for some time. I wanted to return in February. I wanted to return in early March. Today is March 31st, 2023, for anyone who may be listening on this day or another day for reference. But we are back, and I am so blessed. I think a big lesson I've been learning is accepting rest. Yeah, somebody needs to hear this. Accepting rest for myself, for even my family, for even my friends, is just accepting rest. How many times today can you say you had a moment to just be still and receive your God-given right, which is resting? Yesterday, I was editing an interview that I did for this podcast, which will be coming out, God willing, in I want to say a few weeks, or maybe even next week, whenever God wills. But I prayed before I started editing because I knew it was going to be a long process. It was a really long recording. It was an extensive interview, and I knew I needed God's grace and patience on my side, because something I have been trying to let go of, which no longer serves me, is perfectionism. I'm trying not to let perfect diminish my great. So in doing that, I am giving myself grace in my creative processes, and I am allowing myself the grace to have rest in moments where I don't have the answer, but maybe God does at another time. I was editing for about 2 hours, and I felt just so drained. Mind you, this is after I had went to a very powerful church service. So I had already known, just from crying so much at service and settling down at my desk, I knew that the night would hit me at some point, but I really wanted to try and push through to have this interview completed by today. However, that was not God's plan. I felt so exhausted, so depleted. So I said, okay, I'm going to accept rest in this moment because God knows I need it. I could barely keep my eyes open. I even tried to watch my favorite show after I finished editing for a little bit. But it felt good. It felt rewarding listening to my body rather than this schedule or this agenda that I felt I needed to be on. If this is resonating with you, if you sometimes are trying to if you are sometimes trying to hit a deadline, or you are overexerting yourself to make it to a certain finish line, I just want to remind you to give yourself some grace. Be patient and continue to be at ease with yourself and allowing yourself the energy and capacity to finish what you need with the correct timing. Because even though I wasn't able to finish editing, God gave me a beautiful idea which made my editing process a lot easier this morning. So going back to edit, it was a lot easier. Being able to wake up with a clear mind, hydrated, and just being in my purpose in a full capacity. It's kind of like when your tank in your car is running low, but you're trying to pursue a long distance to travel. It's not going to work. You're going to need to fill up. You're going to need to recharge. And so for me, I had to accept that rest, because if I hadn't, I don't think I wouldn't have gotten that download from God to say, hey, there's an easier way to do this. Let me help you. And sometimes receiving God's help is just giving ourselves more grace and more time, and not trying to be a perfectionist. In society, it's so easy to be a perfectionist. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to be perfect. But let's not allow our perfect to diminish our great, our fantastic, because believe it or not, your maybe mediocre is someone's divine, is someone else's perfect. You guys know the quote, another man's trash is another man's treasure. I love that quote because there is value in everything, even if one person does not seek it or see it. And I wanted to share this because this overall theme of accepting rest and giving yourself grace will be the theme we take into this season of Peace Be. Accepting rest, accepting grace, because God is never going to rush our process. Everything happens in divine, perfect timing. And even though this interview was not fully edited and I wasn't able to put it out today as I had imagined it to, I know that God's timing is perfect, so I'm trusting in that. And I pray that this message is reaching the right person who needs to trust in God's timing and knowing that God has already calculated your steps. We may want something ahead of time, but God knows what we need versus what we want, because those two lists will vary. And that may be a message for another time. I love you guys so much. God bless you if you're listening to this. I am so blessed to be back. Excuse me, I don't know if you guys can hear the smile on my face, but I'm just so grateful. Thank you guys for continuing to be here. God bless you. I'm so looking forward to season 2 of Peace Be by Bambi with your narrator, me, Bambi. And if you're listening to this, you can say it with me. You are at the perfect hour, at the perfect at the perfect minute, at the perfect millisecond. You are at the perfect place, at the perfect timing. And baby girl and baby boy, you are meant to be here. I love you, but God loves you so much more. Take care and don't forget to drink some water. Peace and blessings to you.